Hey, thanks for joining us this morning. I'm 13 News meteorologist Matt Standridge. Meteorologist Chuck Lofton's with me as well. We wanted to give you an update on what we're seeing out there this morning, kind of what happened overnight last night, and a preview of what's to come. I want to show you real quick. The snow flurries have, for the most part, wrapped up. However, we may not be completely done. We have a lot of sun out there. It's beautiful. I will say you may need the sunglasses out there this morning because after that fresh layer of snow and the sun out there, it is bright. But it's nice to have some bright skies here in February. We are watching some clouds and some extra lake effect snow showers up to the north. As winds become more northerly, we may blow in a couple flurries throughout the day. Shouldn't be too impactful, but something that we'll be watching on and off. So I think we've got a few hours of some good sunshine, but don't be surprised if a few areas north and east of Indianapolis get a stray flurry throughout the day. But that cold front, again, did a number on us. We've got all these cold weather alerts out towards the west. So I wanted to take a moment and kind of focus on how the roads are doing, what things are looking like as you're hitting the pavement this morning. A lot of folks had that morning rush, but what can you expect the next couple of hours? And then Chuck's going to really look into that snow burst that we had, especially on the west side. We had it here towards the Country Club of Indianapolis. Look how beautiful that is. All the fresh snow, couple new inches out there on the greens. We're going to call them the whites now from now on because of all the snowpack that we got. But look at all that sun too. We've got a lot of clear sky above, but don't be surprised if some extra rounds of clouds and flurries at times come in from the north. But I do think we're going to kind of have a lot of sunshine as well throughout the day. It is a very cold start with temperatures mainly in the single digits and wind chills below zero at this time. But beautiful start there in towards the west side of the city. All right, traffic this morning. Just looking at the road speeds, you see a lot of red out there. Now, generally this time of the morning, there would be some traffic normally, but we have some extra traffic just because of the snow layers that are out there. On the interstates, there are still a couple slick spots, but a lot of the interstates have improved since the snow has wrapped up for a while now. Once you get off the interstates, you get some of these city streets, you get some of these county roads. A lot of them have some snow on them. You know, we picked up anywhere between, a half inch to an inch to 2 inches, and then on the west side, a few inches. Chuck's going to talk about that snow burst in a second, but we do have a couple accidents out there. Some of these are actually some old ones as crews have been just so busy trying to respond to all of them, so sometimes the system's not fully updated all the time. When you're looking at the snow patches, though, notice how we've kind of eroded them just a little bit towards the north and east. As the snow's kind of melted a little bit with tire traffic and then the north winds kind of dry it off, that's helping us improve in some of our spots, but we still have some of those slowdowns. We have one on I-70 headed westbound just past Eastern Hancock coming into Greenfield. We've got another one on 65 south as you're coming into Whitestown, and then 465 headed northbound past Lawrence and Pendleton Pike. We also have some slowdowns too, and it's just been kind of slow around downtown Indianapolis. But then look how we have more of that snow west side and kind of south side. It's a sign to show things to come with Chuck's explanation of the snowburst that we had. Let's take you to the west side. Notice how the interstate's doing a lot better for most of the lanes. This is how it looks like a lot across central Indiana. This would normally be, kind of 3 lanes, but notice how this outside lane has snow kind of right off towards the edge. The shoulders are snowy, but a lot of times you are hitting some dry pavement, but don't be surprised if there are some slick spots out there. Look how bright it is too with that fresh snow. All right, this is a live look out towards the airports. You can see the FedEx planes out there towards the distance. We had some big backups come into the airport earlier this morning. We had 40-minute delays just trying to come in from the north side or the south side to come towards the airport, but a lot of those have improved. A lot of the interstates have now dried off and cleared off, but don't be surprised if you get close to the edge in that shoulder, there will be some slick spots. That's what they'll continue to kind of clear and work throughout the day with those plows. All right, so let's take a look at some of these delays. We'll stick with I-65 first, just cutting through downtown from north to south is about 11-minute delay, south to north 12-minute delay, but you can see the speeds. This time of morning, your average speed may be closer to 50 just because of the traffic, but just notice how we're going slower, which is good news as you're headed out and there could be some slick spots. Now we'll take you to I-70. From west to east is where we've got the bigger delay. Notice how from Harding Street coming into downtown, you're wrapping around Eli Lilly and Lucas Oil, a little bit slower there past the zoo. And then east to west, just a little bit faster, but it's still a delay, about 9 minutes on I-70. And then this is what it looks like as you're headed towards the airport. A lot better. I mean, it was the Greenwood one. Coming in from Greenwood, we had a 40-minute delay. Traffic was stopped there at the corner of the airport. So that's some good news. These are a lot better. Traffic slowly picking up in its speed as the roads continue to improve. But don't be surprised if a lot of these county roads are going to remain snow covered or slick for a while. It is so cold it's hard to melt. The only way you can really melt it Either crews put some really good treatment on it, which is not as effective depending on what they put on. But then also one of the best ways to melt the roads is a bunch of tire traffic. But on some of these rural roads, there's not enough traffic to really help out. And so we've had a lot of school delays. We've been mapping them. The yellow ones show you the delays that we've had. The reds show you either cancellation or the school has switched to e-learning. So in a way, it's kind of canceled, closed. You're not actually going to the school, you're staying home. But we have multiple school disruptions out there this morning because of the cold, because of the snow. But Chuck, you can kind of notice where we've had more delays than others, and that kind of deals with the snow.
Without question. In fact, one of the things we want to talk about on this Weather Impact Day is what happened last night between 9 p.m. and midnight. You often see these streamers of snow up by South Bend, Mishawaka, maybe west towards Munster, Whiting, Hammond. You don't see them that much around here, but sometimes that happens, and that's what occurred last night. Look at that stream of blue, Lebanon, Zionsville, Brownsburg, Center Grove, out towards Whiteland and Franklin. Those are the areas where we picked up this heavier snow. Notice that came in Brownsburg, not so much Avon, but south now into this area near Mooresville and then just west of Nineveh. So we saw some really heavy snow amounts. Brownsburg at 3 inches to 4 inches of snow. Plainfield at 3.6. In Avon, on the east side of Avon, 1 inch. Near the center of town, 3 inches. Lebanon with 3. Traders Point with 2. 1.6 officially in Indianapolis, and not much in other spots. About a ½ inch to 1 inch is what many of you got. Now, this system that we've been talking about continues to march to the east. So this area of low pressure will go towards New York City by tonight and then eventually to Cape Cod. That gets us out of any threat of snow. Some of you have seen a few flurries this morning. But it does reinforce, unfortunately, the cold. So we will see some lingering flurries for the rest of the day today, with many roads coated or snow covered. And how about this? Today's high, 21 degrees below average. That is too cold, isn't it? Here's what I want you to watch. The culprit for this is the polar jet. This is the polar jet here. You've got the subtropical way down here. This is the polar jet. So see how it snakes out of the Arctic Circle, draws that cold air down? Well, look what happens as we move into Friday. The polar jet lifts somewhat. I think we'll be maybe 8 degrees warmer tomorrow. And then as the jet goes into areas north of Montreal, that allows a more subtropical flow of air. What's it mean? It gets warmer. In fact, we'll warm up quite a bit. But today, make sure that you wear your warmest. Only 20 degrees for a high when the kids are coming home from school today. And speaking of coming home, the Pacers back home to take on the Memphis Grizz. In fact, they've got 3 home games here in just the next few days. Today, if you're headed downtown, 20 degrees at 5 p.m. And after the boys get the win, only 15 degrees. And boy, we've been used to this chill, and we will continue to see it around. Look at this. This is a look at tomorrow. That Arctic push pushes all the way down to Houston, to New Orleans, and then to the panhandle of Florida. In fact, today, the panhandle of Florida is experiencing 25 to 30 degrees below average. Some of these spots will have record cold both today and tomorrow. And this ridge of high pressure, it's responsible for us getting all of this. Watch as this high will actually split. So you'll have one ridge of high pressure basically over Jacksonville, one over Memphis. And that's not good for us if you want to get rid of the cold, because what it does is reinforce that northwesterly breeze. Now, I did mention, didn't I, that the polar flow of the jet will move north. So that's good, but it's still going to be chilly around here and still well below average today, tomorrow, and probably Saturday. This is Sunday, and we'll start to warm up into the 40s at that point with snow very likely around Buffalo. So today, yeah, it's cold. I would say it's a wash if you want to warm up. It's just not going to happen. But we are going to see some changes. So periods of flurries today. The good news with today, despite the fact we only get to 20, folks, this is going to be the coldest day, perhaps for 10 days to 2 weeks. It's going to be that warm once we get into next week. 6 degrees tonight, mostly sunny Friday, and 28. Sun with a few stray flurries on Saturday. We'll start out cold. Remember that Lindsay will be here with you Saturday morning, giving you that encouraging news on WTHR TV, 33, and then on Sunday, 42. Now, I was talking and I showed you that subtropical flow of the jet stream. We believe, in looking at some of our long-range models, that thing's going to be right over I-70 or maybe even north. And so that would bring us from the average high in the low 40s to temperatures maybe 10 degrees above average. So Monday, 50. Tuesday, 51, and then Wednesday, a high of 52. Well, I hope that does it for you. Again, we've had so many delays, more than 90 of them today, but the kids will all come home on time. There's your forecast. We're going to be back throughout the day, and of course, right here on 13 Plus, WTHR.com, and all of our social media channels. Have yourself a great day. Stay warm.